throughout the world and continue to be the front runner in developing world-class leaders within the applied technologies, healthcare, business, entrepreneurship, and much more. This tower not only has a lot of meaning for MSOE, but to me personally. So my history with MSOE goes back to the beginning. Well, not exactly the beginning. That was in 1903. But 1972, that's far enough back for most of us. In the fall of that year, I moved into that very dormitory, room 411 to be exact. At that time, the purpose of that building was really to provide a place to sleep, to provide a place to eat, and to do our homework. And to say it was stark would be an understatement. While it did provide the necessary accommodations, there were a few places to gather and hardly any places to really collaborate. Our showers rivaled those in military barracks. And let's just say I would not have classified the food as befitting of even a single Michelin star. But a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to tour the building with Regents Rich Galling and Kendall Brunick. The three of us have been on a review committee during the redevelopment of the tower, and in fact, Rich had also lived in this building during his freshman year, and we even had a chance to visit our old rooms. That walkthrough was a great day for us both. Seeing the spaces from our fond memories now impressively transformed into everything we would have wanted as students back then, these new facilities will offer an ideal environment for the bright young minds of MSOE to thrive as they grow personally and academically. This tower redevelopment has been many years in the making, and the credit for that goes to Dr. Waltz. From the day he joined MSOE in July of 2016, he talked about the need for a living learning center. And while I knew that the building was sorely in need of a renovation, I'll admit I initially didn't fully understand what his vision was. But I have now come to truly appreciate the importance of housing as more than a place for students to just sleep and eat, but as a critical element of their ability to flourish as they learn in this place. The tower was completed on time and under budget, which is a rarity for construction just in general. Yet alone, it's a special rarity when you're retrofitting an existing older structure. There are so many unknowns during projects such as these, and overrunning projections, that's pretty much the norm in construction. The credit for that feat goes to the team, and it really does take a team to achieve a success of this magnitude. So I want to personally thank everyone who contributed to taking this tower from ideation to reality, including the MSOE Steering Committee, the contractors and the alumni that worked on the tower, our owner's representative, Mark Rounds, and our very creative architectural firm led by Scott Ramlow, and I am sure there are many others who have contributed to this success. I also want to thank the many donors that made this project happen. 100% of the funds, and I'll repeat it, 100% of the funds to redevelop the Vietz Tower came from MSOE supporters. Many of you are with us this morning. We could not have redeveloped this tower without your support. So I want to close with a special thank you to Dr. John Waltz for his leadership and his vision in undertaking this incredible transformation. I will now turn it over to him to speak about the reality of his vision. And again, I'd like to thank you for joining us and to taking part in this exciting occasion this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Regent Mosseri, and let me add my own welcome to everyone here. It is great to have you here. As Regent Mosseri said, this day has been a long time coming. I started talking to our Board of Regents about the importance of updated residence halls not long after I arrived at MSOE about 5 years ago. because I had seen firsthand the impact that a facility combining living and learning together can have on the recruitment and the satisfaction and, importantly, the success of your students. And our regents recognized that importance. That need was reinforced by student surveys, satisfaction surveys, in which improving the quality of our residence halls was their number one priority. Incidentally, number two on that priority was quality of dining. And I'm happy to say that on September 13th, we will have the formal grand opening of our new, beautiful Robert Spitzer Dining Commons over in the campus center. So for the students in attendance, we do listen to you, right? And of course, improved facilities is an important goal in our strategic plan, Extraordinary Together, that we developed a few years ago and which we just recently updated in light of all that's going on now. While many of you probably realize it and recognize it, it was about 2 years ago that we were gathered in this very same room to formally open this wonderful new facility that we're sitting in, the Dwight and Diane Derrick's Computational Science Hall. And we are very honored and fortunate to have Dwight with us this morning. Thank you, Dwight, for coming. Good to see you. So some people may wonder, why do we invest so much in facilities? Over the past 5 years, MSOE has probably spent nearly $85 million on major capital projects for our campus. And for a school our size, that's a lot. And that does not even include the millions of dollars that our good friends at Direct Supply spent on modernizing and upgrading the old German English Academy building next door to create their beautiful and award-winning Innovation Technology Center. But I think the reasons are actually pretty simple. First, I firmly believe that for a young person right out of high school, going off to college and being part of a university community is an unmatched experience. Yes, our students learn in our classrooms and in our laboratories, but they learn equally as much outside of those. How to make friends, how to work together, to deal with adversity and maybe difficult personal situations, to grow and mature socially and professionally. All of these are part of the college experience. And to me, beautiful and functional facilities like these that are designed to help our students interact with and learn from each other not only help us attract students to this university, they make the experience of those students while they were here so much better and more meaningful. I don't think it's a complete coincidence that MSOE's incoming class for this fall term will be the largest in our history, by far. And I think part of that is due to what we're doing here with our facilities. Of course, we have a great enrollment team as well. But there is another reason. We ask a lot of our students. There are no easy majors at this university. And I want to give every student who enrolls here the greatest chance possible to succeed and to graduate. So when we design these new facilities, like Herman Dietz Tower, or Derrick's Hall, or Spitzer Dining Commons, or the expanded Relo Nursing Complex, we of course want them to be beautiful and functional. But the top priority is always what will best serve our students and help them to succeed. And that is one of the reasons why this new facility that we're opening today is so much more than a residence hall, so much more than a place for students to live. Each of the 12 residence floors now has expanded study areas, because when we polled our students a few years ago and we asked them, what was the one amenity you would most want in a new residence hall? The answer was places to study together. I think that's incredible, and I think that says so much about the type of student that we get at this institution. At the south end of the building, which you can see right out there are 6 new collaboration hubs, each serving 2 floors, which will support either informal study, more organized learning activities, even small classes. They'll also support the concept of residential houses, where students linked by a common interest or program can live and learn together. And we will have 2 such houses operating this fall, one for our honors program and one for students in our Carter Academy. And of course, on the ground level, where our campus dining facility used to be, there are now classrooms, entrepreneurial spaces that we supported by a fabrication prototyping facility where students from across campus, regardless of their major, can come and work together. It will truly be a complete living learning facility that will go a long way toward helping us reach our goal that all graduates of this institution will embody and demonstrate the 4 qualities of our MSOE mindset: to be leaders of character, passionate learners, responsible professionals, and value creators. Because when you combine a great education that we provide with someone who embodies those qualities, we have truly reached our vision to set the standard for preparing leaders to solve the diverse technical challenges of the 21st century. And of course, such a transformation requires a new name. The building was originally dedicated in April of 1965. Fittingly, the mayor of the city of Milwaukee at the time, the Honorable Henry Meyer, was present at that event. It was named in honor of Regent Roy W. Johnson, who played a key role in raising funds for its construction. And we will continue to honor Mr. Johnson's legacy with a plaque in the building's lobby. But this new facility will be renamed in honor of someone who did so much for this institution during his 24 years as president. He was a friend to so many of you during that time, especially to the person who really helped to get this project started, Regent Eckhart Groman. And that person, of course, is MSOE's 4th president, Dr. Herman Dietz. And we are truly honored to have so many members of Herman's family with us today. Thank you all for coming here and supporting us. And finally, like Dan mentioned, I'd like to offer my sincere appreciation on behalf of all of us at MSOE to the many, many people who played a role in making this happen. First, to those of you who provided funds, and there were many, too many for me to mention. But you'll find their names on spaces, many of them, on spaces throughout the building, including some of the actual rooms where alumni lived, and we've given them the opportunity to put their name on a plaque outside of the room. As Dan mentioned, this building, just like essentially all of our major capital additions and renovations we've done, was completely funded by philanthropy. And we are very indeed fortunate to have such supportive and generous alumni and friends. I want to thank the Board of Regents who not only believed in and supported this project, but who provided guidance throughout its completion. The architecture firm of Ramelow Stein, who led the design of the building. The impact of Scott and his team can be seen and felt all over our campus. And our owner's representative, Professor Mark Rounds. And of course, to those who helped build it, in particular BJS Construction Services, who made sure the project was completed on time and under budget. A number of the leaders on that project from BJS are alums of this institution. My sincere thanks to each and every one of you. And with that, I'd like to introduce now to you one of our students. Nikki Ratz is a senior biomedical engineering student. She lived in Roy W. Johnson. She will now live in Beats Tower. So she can appreciate as much as anyone the transformation that we've made. I'm happy to introduce to you Nikki Ratz. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Walls. So good morning. My name is Nikki Ratz. I am a senior at MSOE, majoring in biomedical engineering. And I'm originally from Indiana, but Milwaukee has been my new home since starting at MSOE in 2018. MSOE really stood out to me because it was one of the only colleges that I visit that I really felt like they were part of my family and I was part of their family from day one. I have the pleasure of speaking to you today because I am one of many students who have a unique experience of not only getting to live in RWJ, but spending my last year on campus living and working as an RA in Beats Tower. I will be living on the 8th floor, which in addition to the 7th floor will be home to the Carter House, the first dedicated living learning community on MSOE's campus. Living and learning in the same house with the other Carter Academy scholars, like myself, will allow us to collaborate and build a camaraderie with my peers who share the same shared interests and academic goals. Personally, I'm even more excited to give back to such an invaluable program that gave me so many great friends and great opportunities even before my freshman year. What I'm most excited for, though, is to use the new study spaces on each floor. My freshman year, we had study lounges, which offered a great space to study and hang out with other classmates. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these spaces have been reimagined in an even bigger and better way. As a student, I've been lucky to not only witness the transformation of this residence hall, but see the other numerous changes throughout our campus. State-of-the-art facilities like Dirks Hall, the MSOE STEM Center, and the Spitzer Dining Commons have not only brought our campus community closer, but the spaces have also connected the greater Milwaukee community closer to MSOE family. So before I go, I want to say thank you so much to all the alumni, friends of the university, and community partners who have made these remarkable additions to our campus possible. And thank you to all the faculty, MSOE staff, who have supported our success every step of the way. I could not have picked a better place to call home. I would now like to welcome Dr. Tim Valley, Vice President of Student Services and Enrollment Management from the MSOE leadership team, to say a few words.
Thanks, Nikki. I heard you were speaking, and then when I parked my car and I saw the soccer team going off to practice, and I didn't see you waving at me this morning. I knew that it was true. So, welcome. It's truly an honor to be asked to present at this event, having been an individual that worked with Dr. Viets for 18 years. And you know, in a lot of ways, I think, not to take away from Dean and Hans, but in a lot of ways, I think he saw me as a son. You know, he had a huge impact on not only my life, but my family's life, and so it's really an honor to be a part of it. I'd like to kind of coin my words with a little bit of a title today called, "Don't Place a Period Where God Wants a Comma." You know, when I got asked to talk a little bit about what this is going to do for recruiting for MSOE, it's funny, you know, now that I'm the age I'm at, everybody thinks, oh, you got the greatest job in the world. You get to work with 17, 18-year-olds, and how wonderful is that? And they keep you young and all that kind of stuff, and that's very true. But you ever think about what it's like that your job really depends on the decisions a 17, 18-year-old makes on where they're going to go to college? So we spend a lot of time trying to understand that behavior, right? And the number one factor of a student determining where they're going to go to college is does the college offer the major that they would like? The number two factor is really based around academic reputation. And I really believe that that's the space that Dr. Viets spent a ton of time on, really making sure that our academic programs were top-notch. He wanted, you know, I like to say to prospective parents all the time that, you know, when I went to college, I spent 4 years at the college, and I grew up while I was at the college. The thing that makes MSOE unique is you don't have a choice. They're going to force you to grow up, right? You're going to have to start adulting really early about time management and stuff. And I do believe that was truly Dr. Viets' mission, is to really build out our academic programs, which he did. But the other thing I get asked about all the time as an admissions person is, you know, at first, when I went into admissions, my friends kind of looked at me and said, well, you're just doing this so you can hang around and play noon basketball and eat pizza with students and all that kind of stuff. But now that their kids are college age, they always ask me the most important question that they're faced with about college. And when I ask that to prospective families, they always look at me and they assume the most important question is going to be affordability, like how do I get more scholarship or how do I get more financial aid? But it's not. The most important question, or the number one question they consistently ask me, is how will we know which college? And they don't like my answer because it's a room filled with analytical people, right? And so they want it to be like on a spreadsheet. They want to be able to do a math problem on it. But I just simply look at them and I say, you're just going to know. You know, you're just going to know. It's a feel, right? So I had a really amazing experience. It actually was a year after Dr. Viets left and Dr. Walls wasn't here yet. And an old classmate, really from grade school, I had signed her husband's acceptance letter for grad school, and she tracked me down and she said, And so we got reacquainted and stayed in touch. And she called me and said, my oldest son's a junior in high school, and my youngest son's a ninth grader. We're super involved in Project Lead the Way, and we've heard MSOE is a great place to be. We'd like to come for a college tour. Really cool, right? I mean, I knew her in third grade, and now we're young adults or middle-aged adults, right? And so you really get to see my world, see what I've been doing for a living. They came for a visit, and they went out on a tour, and I had coordinated all that, and they came in my office afterwards, and she asked her two sons to step out of the room, and we sat down in my office. And she was very serious. I said, "Hi, how was your tour?" Normally it was great, right? She said, "Well, I know MSOE has a great academic reputation." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right, it does, right? But the facilities seem tired." Can you imagine the emotions right there? And since that time, it's just been amazing to watch how this has grown. So at the time, I would say, again, don't place a period where God wants a comma. At that time I could say, we offer a first-class education, period. Now I'd add a comma, right? We offer a first-class education in a first-class facility. And I'm just going to say, intentionally designed to get at and foster the MSOE mindset. So thank you for coming. It's really an honor to be on the stage when we're dedicating a facility for Dr. Beets. I can only imagine that he would smile. I can see him in his hat and his kind of skippy walk, right? And it's kind of cool. With that, I'd like to close, and I'd like to introduce Chandra Mitchell. But before I do that, Chandra Mitchell, the Vice President of Student Affairs and Campus Inclusion. Go Raiders.
Thank you, Dr. Valley. Hello, everyone. What an exciting day this is, not only for our student residents of Beets Tower, but for the MSOE community as a whole. We have all waited for so long to have a place like Beets Tower for our students to call home, and I am thrilled that the time is finally here. Beets Tower is not a dorm, nor is it a residence hall. Those are outdated terms that describe rooms and places where college students once stored their belongings, slept, and occasionally studied. But in the case of our students, they always studied, so they're hard workers, definitely. Beets Tower is a living, learning community, and it's so much more than that dorm or residence hall because it was built with community at the forefront, and it captures many of our university's core values. It is a place where students and faculty can build thriving social and academic communities where collaboration can be realized in and out of the classroom, where innovation happens organically and profoundly, fostering a deep appreciation for service, discovery, and growth, and where inclusion is not just a buzzword, but a way of being. The vision and purpose of Beets Tower should be both the template and hallmark for all future communities and buildings here at MSOE. Beets Tower will be the epicenter on campus for community, togetherness, and belonging. It will provide an innovative medium for new ideas, for academic engagement, and for a new way of socializing among our faculty, staff, students, and of course, our phenomenal alumni. It will show us the spirit, really, of what MSOE is all about. This new living learning community, by embracing so many of our university's values, will provide a truly unique and positive campus experience for our students. And I am thrilled at the thought and the reality of our students being able to finally call it their home. It is truly an extraordinary addition to our beloved community, and I am so eager as to how it will bring our community together, as we are, in fact, extraordinary together. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandra. And now it's my pleasure to introduce someone who continues to be truly a wonderful friend and a supporter to both me and to our institution, and a person who is at the center of all things, great things that are happening in Milwaukee, maybe even the Bucks and the Brewers. And that is, of course, the mayor of our great city, Mayor Tom Barrett.
Well, thank you very much, President Walz. It's a true honor to be here this morning. And as you were talking about your freshman year here in 1972, I actually had a little flashback myself. And it went back to when I was first running for mayor. And there were many candidates running for mayor at that time. And in politics, as you know, there's different attacks that are levied. And we were at one forum, and one of the other candidates decided to attack me. And her attack was, well, he's just going to want to go to ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. Now, in retrospect, that's a pretty good attack. I've done a lot worse since then that they could attack me on. But as she was saying that, I was thinking, yeah, that's pretty accurate. I'm going to want to go to ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. But that's because of the way I view our city, the job as mayor, that it's not just about city government. It's about the city. And it's about the great institutions in the city and how we as a city can be a partner, not an enemy, not a barrier, but a partner, and allow them to do the great things that they are so good at. And I can think of no better example during the time I've been in office of an institution that has flourished, that has reinvented itself, that has made itself very modern and appealing than MSOE. And I mean that. Under President Vietz's leadership and now under President Walz's leadership, as I've said at other events here, the hits just keep on coming. And I love that because it's great for the institution, it's great for the city, and it's what we have to do in a competitive world to be on the cutting edge, to be relevant, and to be attractive. And so I look at the physical transformation that has taken place on this campus, because I don't think 30 years ago you really could call it a campus. Maybe you called it a campus, but you can call it a campus now. And that is something that attracts young people. It is something that they want. They want to have a pleasurable physical experience at the school as well in terms of the buildings and the programs. And I think MSOE has done that in an amazingly effective way. But it goes beyond that. Again, as the mayor of the city, I love having the beautiful physical layout, but I love the programs that you have here. And President Walz, when you were saying how the enrollment is up, I've talked to many, many university and college leaders about the challenges that they are having in attracting students right now. And it's widespread, not just locally here, but nationally. We know that there are demographic issues, that we know that there are issues as to how people view higher education. We know there are financial issues. But the fact that you are doing so well speaks volumes to the product that you are offering to the students and their families. And again, I see it through the lens of my job, where if I meet someone who has ties to MSOE or someone who went to school here, I just automatically go check competent person. And that's great to have people think that. Okay, they went to MSOE, we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about that. So I think it's great. The fact that this building is named after Herman Vietz, it has to be a strong building because Herman Vietz was a force of nature. And those of you who knew him know that. And when people were saying, well, if Herman were here today, he would look at this and admire it, I don't think so. I think Herman would already be on to the next project. Because that's the way his mind operated. How can we do it? And that's how John's mind operates as well, is what can we do to make this campus, to make this institution even stronger? And the success that the students have here, the fact that they're recognized nationally, that this institution is recognized nationally as a great, great academic institution, I think also feeds into the momentum, the very positive momentum that we're seeing here. So we've got one champion with the NBA Bucks, but we've got another champion with MSOE, and I'm proud of all of our champions here in the city of Milwaukee. Congratulations.
I can't wait till we don't have to do this anymore. Thank you, Mayor Barrett. And thanks to all of our speakers this morning for their inspiring words, especially you, Nikki. I can tell you're excited. and I hope you love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our formal program for this morning. I want to ask now that you join us for the official ribbon cutting for the building, which will actually be right outside in front of the building. We're going to do it out in front. And so if you want, you can just exit through these doors and just walk right across. And there's still a little bit of construction going on, I'll mention, because we're upgrading and renovating our green space and making this a beautiful green space for our campus. And that should be done in a few months. Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful day here at MSOE. Thank you.